Today, I'll be showing you my insanely massive New York Comic-Con haul. Stick around. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy DJ Links, back in the building, back in effect, and back with another video. And today I'll be showing you my insanely massive New York Comic-Con haul. Today is actually day 4 of New York Comic-Con, and your boy had to tap out. I couldn't do it. I was so tired from day 1, day 2, and day 3 that I was just like, I give up on day 4. So I tapped out. Call me a weakling, whatever you want to do. I just couldn't do it. But day 1 through 3 was absolutely phenomenal. This is the first time that I was actually contracted to work the con. So I was filming for Nycc Comics and Captured Collectibles, and I had a fantastic time. I want to give a big shout out to Nycc Comics and Jason from Captured Collectibles, Monica, JJ, everybody over there. I had such a blast working with them and them respecting my creative vision and letting me like dabble between them and the artist and film and just pop up with my camera at just random times. It was an amazing time. I can't wait till you see the highlight reel, Nycc's footage that I did for him. It is going to be amazing. I also want to give a big shout out to all the artists that I mingled with and was able to meet and mic up, and it was just fantastic. So big shout out to Peach Momoko, Andrew Curry, big shout out to Martin Zavala, my brother from another mother. We just hit it off, and that dude is super, super cool. John Jang, of course, and many, many more that you'll see in the highlight reels and the coming footage. But let's just get to the comic books. I picked up a ton of exclusives, and this was all like day 3 pickups that I was just like, I had a window of opportunity to go around like right before the con doors open. So like 9:55. And I just made my rounds as fast as possible. And I was just like, yo, please, I got to go to work. Let me hook me up. And some of the vendors did hook me up. So big shout out to all the vendors, Big Time Collectibles, Comic Exposure, Fury Comics, NRG Comics, Pressable Defects, Very Gary, Ryan Brown. Like everybody was on point, and just like, it was just a fantastic, fantastic time. Before we get to that, even though I said we're going to get to the books, I want to give a big shout out to people that I met for the first time and people that I haven't seen in a long time. And it was like fantastic. It's like family. Like when you see these people at cons, it's just like family. So big shout out to Reggie Collects, Reggie Simmons. I met him for the first time in person, and he's an absolutely cool dude. And we had a brief conversation, comics curing cancer stuff, and I greatly respect Reggie Collects. Big shout out to the big homie Gem Mint and Fee Mint. Saw them, and it was just like old friends, like, you know, what's up? And then we actually managed to chill on Saturday night, and we had a fantastic time as well. I got some footage of him, Johnny Desjardins, when they did their drop on Whatnot. It was absolutely amazing. Big shout out to Davis Ryder. He was there as well. Shout out to Comic Tom. It was an absolute blast. But let's get to this giant stack of exclusives, variants, and all this other stuff. I'm going to try to go through it fairly quickly. There's some doubles in here, and I don't want this video to be 30 minutes long. So we're going to start out at Big Time Collectibles. So this is the Felipe Masafera Silver Surfer Ghostlight number 5 Virgin. So shout out to Nelson from Big Time Collectibles. I was able to snag 2 of those. One of them will be going toward a Lynx box, and another one of those will be going up for a Whatnot sale. I'm actually having my first Whatnot sale this Wednesday, and I'll give you more details after this. So I picked that up from Big Time Collectibles. Superman 78 Miko foil. I actually got some 11x17 prints of this, and I forgot to bring it in the room while I'm recording, and I'm not going to get up and bring it in just so you to see it. So dope. Big shout out to Miko Suyan. Super cool cat. I picked up one of these, the logo foil. Bang, dope. Hopefully the stack doesn't fall off. Picked up 2 of the Jang TMNTs. So this is a reprint of TMNT number 1 from Mirage Comics. So that's super dope. John Jang is amazing. Had a phenomenal time chopping it up with him. This Blue Beetle. So this was free. If you spent $50 or more at the Spectral Comics booth, I want to say, you got one of these free blank Blue Beetles. And yeah, these I think are from Spectral. They don't have any COAs, but I believe this is Bad Omens Concrete Jungle. This is one of my favorite covers of the con. Super dope. Batman the Long Halloween foil, Rainy Day foil. Boom. Let me turn these around so they don't fall off the table. This fantastic Blue Beetle. Dope. Super dope. So that was all from Spectral Comics. Now let's move on to Trinity Comics. And I believe these are EM Just Jice. So this is dope. This is a Mandalorian season 2, number 5, cover artist Nycc. So that's Trinity Comics, dope virgin there. This is a Something is Killing the Children, number 33 foil. I believe the cover is, I'm gonna butcher it, but first name is Zoe for sure. I don't remember the last name. Another Trinity Comics exclusive. This is the Mandalorian season 2. This is the Adi Granov cover, number 5. This is pretty dope, limited to 700. Another Something is Killing the Children. I don't remember the artist on this. It might be Zoe as well, but I don't remember the issue number either. So that's pretty sick. Now, these are just some signed books that I got signed, and this is hilarious. So you're gonna see it before he does, but this is Incredible Hulk number 1, signed by Philip Kennedy Johnson, who is a fantastic, fantastic cat. Had the pleasure of talking it up with him. I said, hey, I think we have a mutual friend, and his name is Mike Becker. And he was like, I know Becker. Puny Becker? So I got a copy signed for Becker, and I'm gonna send it off to him. It's funny because I was just like, can you write F.U. Becker on the cover? And he was just like, nah, I can't do that. I'll write Puny Becker. Because one time I got, I forgot his name, Rich Davis from Cult of Dracula. I got him to write on a cover F.U. actual Dracula, but not the F, the full word. Stopped by Humberto Ramos to get this signed, Spider-Man number 7, first appearance of Spider-Boy. This is actually going into a builder lot at C3. Got these from No Mas Comics. So this Spawn foil was hitting this weekend. Everybody was coming to the booth asking for these. Crazy, crazy. So that's Spawn 250, the Mexican foil. I'm gonna put that there. Stopped by Kyle Willis's booth, so I picked this up. So hold on, let me see. There you go. So it's weird. So I believe this is Pouches. The name of the book is Pouches, but the same artwork, the image of the female there, is going to be featured on a cat fight book. And that's a Shikari art. That's why I picked it up, because I'm a fan of Shikari. So, but I found that weird, and I got it autographed by Kyle Willis. That's for the PC. This was dope, man. So I met DMC, second time meeting him in my life, went up to him and I, gave him his props, saluted him as he should be saluted. One of the OGs, one of the greats of hip hop. And I, gave him his respect as he deserves. And he signed that to me, made it out personalized. So that's for the PC. And I also picked up this, and he signed that as a children's book. And I made that out to my nephew. So big shout out to my nephew, Sonny. I'm gonna put this on the side here so it doesn't fall off. Now, so at Very Gary's booth, Ryan G. Brown, the God, I'm a big fan of Ryan G. Brown. So he was there signing these books, and these are his creations. It's a sketchbook. And this is TMNT number 1. So that's absolutely fire. And then he had these other sketchbooks. This is, he had Miles Morales on the cover. He was doing these sick sneaker remarks. Like if you went up and was just like, yo, let me get a Jordan 6, he would draw it for you. Crazy. And then he would mark it 1 of 1, which is fantastic. So if somebody had the sneaker that you wanted, you couldn't get that sneaker. So that's the regular version. And then I got the spot foil. Like I went back the next day because these arrived late. And I was just like, oh snap, let me get that, yo. So big shout out to Ryan G. Brown. Pressable Defects that were there, Gary Vary, ERA212. Love seeing all those dudes, man. That's what I'm saying. Like the community, the YouTube community, like when we see each other, like it's like, yo, it's pretty dope. So next on, let's move to the Clayton Crane booth. So I had the pleasure of filming Clayton Crane. So I met Clayton Crane April, and I was filming them. The footage is bananas. So I picked these up, and these books were hitting for the con. Like everybody was just like, what? So this is the Joker issue number 1, a foil variant, which was dope. Limited to 500. This Batman Scooby-Doo Mysteries. This one everybody was after as well. Foil, limited to 500. And these books were kind of pricey, I'm not gonna lie. And then this one, everybody wanted this Looney Tunes. So I got, I think, the last 2. This is also limited to 500, so I picked up 2 of those. So that's 1, and this is 2. That's the stuff at Clayton Crane. I guess let's do this pile now. It's just so many freaking piles. So on the last day of day 1, I went down to Bill McKay to grab these zombie tramps. So I picked up 2 sets, naughty and nice sets. So this is Zombie Tramp. He signed it and made it out to C3. This set will be going up for auction at C3. So that's super dope. So that's the Nice. And then, uh-oh, boobies alert. This is the Naughty. So one of those sets will be going up for C3. The other set is not signed. Now, I had the pleasure of meeting David Finch. I went over with my guy Izzyverse NYC to go search for this. So I was able to pick up 2 of these. So this was probably one of the best covers of the whole event, whole NYCC. I believe this is Amazing Spider-Man 35. The only thing that I was just like, it came pre-signed. So it's signed, but it came pre-signed. And I was just like, come on. One of the highlights too of the con, and I put up a short about it, was meeting Rob Liefeld. So I go up to Rob Liefeld and he's like, what can I do for you? And I tell him, God's honest truth, you can ask Izzyverse NYC. I want that rub it on my balls variant. And he looks at me like, what? And I was just like, yo, bro, from your stream, like you took a comic book and rubbed it on your balls and you put it back up for like stream meaning whatnot. And he just started dying laughing. But he's such a wild cat. And I could see why he created Deadpool. He's like Deadpool in real life. So I had pre-ordered this and we had to pick it up at the con. And when I got there and I told him that about the balls variant, he was looking through his pile of the ones that he had already made. And he was just like, this is his words. He was like, oh, these are all garbage. I'll do you a fresh one right now. And I was like, absolutely. So he did the chiseled Liefeld signature and he blew on it, like, and his whole spit went all on the cover. But that's Rob Liefeld for you. That will probably be up for auction at C3 as well. Big shout out to my guy NRG Comics. He had his exclusive drop. He had a bunch of poos. So this is Teenage Mutant Ninja Poos #1. And I was just like, you know what? Let me get one of those. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the OG movie, is one of my favorite comic book movies of all time. One of my favorite movies of all time. This cover was limited to 25 and this is #2. So big shout out to Tony and Artley for having those covers and having a very successful con. They were super happy. Now we're moving on to Carnivore Comics, and this is dope, man. So this is a Keith Haring homage, and I love my art, and this is absolutely fantastic. This is Ice Cream Man issue number 34, limited to 400 copies. All right, so I'm gonna have to start another pile over here. This is dope. This is Something is Killing the Children number 31, a foil by Derek Chu. I had the pleasure of meeting Derek Chu and he was an absolute blast. This dope ass foil, hardback. Oh, this one right. I keep saying this was probably one of the dopest covers of the con, but if you watched In the Mix and saw our New York Comic Con preview, you would know this was like on my radar from then. And this is absolutely fantastic. So this is the Lee Bermejo Swamp Thing #1 in collaboration with Carnivore Comics and Comic Tom 101. This is absolutely bananas. This is limited to 1,000 copies. Fire, super fire. Now, like I mentioned earlier, I met up with Reggie Simmons and Doug Bratton and Scott. I forgot his last name, so I'm sorry. And I got some of these signed. So this is Isolation #1, the Dark Knight homage, which was dope. So all 3 of the creative team on that, the cover artist, Reggie and Doug, signed that. And then I got 2 copies of Marcus, which was pretty dope. Signed by Scott, again, forgive me for not knowing your last name, and Reggie. So that's pretty dope. I'm interested to read that. It looks dope. Like I saw some of the cover art on his channel and it looked pretty cool. Now moving on to the Comic Mint. And I have to pause right here. So I want to send a big shout out to the Comic Mint, friends of the channel for a long time. My guy, Matt Wilson. I cannot express how much I appreciate this dude. He donated the cover art for C3, the Comics Curing Cancer exclusive, Unnatural Order. Big shout out to Steve, the owner of the Comic Mint, for donating those books to Comics Curing Cancer. Big shout out to April and everybody that works at the Comic Mint. I cannot thank them enough for their involvement in our efforts to raise money for cancer awareness. So of course I was just like, to pay back, let me get one of everything. Nah, I didn't really say that, but I got a lot of stuff. So I got this Power Girl, Ariel Diaz, full goodness. Big shout out to Ariel Diaz. I had the pleasure of working with her as well this weekend. So that's fire. This Batman #1 silver foil, which was actually pretty cool. I think this is Spider-Man 26. I'm not 100% sure, but this Delato, Fuego, absolute fire. Predator versus Wolverine. I wish this was a trade dress, to be honest. And this is a Scon variant. And I sound like a broken record when I keep saying I had the pleasure of working with this person. But Scon was absolutely fantastic as well. Big shout out to him. And this right here. I am a Joe Jusko fan. Joe Jusko was one of the reasons I fell in love with comic book art. I was already into the comic books prior to that. I was into the cards. And it was whatever, right? So I'm character driven. I love the characters. But then when that Marvel Masterpieces 1992 set came out and I saw that painted style, that blew my mind. And he is a big influence on my art style that I love. Him, Alex Ross. That's why I love Delato. I love Perillo, Bermejo, like all the like art style, like painty vibes is what I call it. So I had the pleasure of meeting him, and not only meeting him, hanging out with him for like 40 minutes and then his wife for like another 40 minutes, and we was just chopping it up over the weekend. So I bought these two from the Comic Mint and had him sign them. These will probably be for the PC. I haven't decided yet if I want to throw it up at C3. So that's the Goblin, signed by Joe Jusko. And then this Miles Morales, also signed by Joe Jusko. So these were the only two books that I brought to the con to have signed because I am such a big fan. And this is like a Thor based off the Marvel Masterpieces 1992. So you see the Joe Jusko down at the bottom. And then one of my favorite Joe Jusko cards from the Marvel Masterpieces, this Wolverine versus Sabretooth, which he signed as well, which is absolutely incredible. So he is such a nice guy. It's like, it's always amazing when you meet these people and you talk to them and they're just like you and I, right? They just have a story. I'm here doing my job. Yeah, I draw comics and I sign them, but yo, I'm just a regular cat. You know what I mean? So big shout out to Joe Jusko. Picked up this Across the Spider-Verse, I believe this is, or Miles or something. I don't even know, but the cover is Fuego. Speaking of my guy, Matt Mother effing Wilson. So I picked up 3 copies of his Creepshow #1, got 1 signed. 1 is for the PC, 1 will be going up at C3. Yo, it's just so weird because I'm a super big fan of Matt. Good friend, but I'm a fan of his art. His style is super unique. It's nothing that you've seen in the whole art world. It's just super, super unique. And I have an inkling or behind the scenes look of how he creates these things because I've seen works in progress. He is absolutely phenomenal. More Comic Mint stuff. This is a Realm of X Magic. This will be going up at C3 as well. Not C, a lot of these, I keep saying C3, but a lot of them might go up at my Whatnot stream on Wednesday. And everything in that Whatnot stream that I sell, all the proceeds, 100% minus fees and shipping, of course, will go toward C3. So that's what we're trying to do. Sell all this stuff or the majority of this stuff on the Whatnot stream Wednesday, 9 p.m., the 18th, so this week, and take all that money and give it to C3. So next up, we got this Alex Ross set of X-Men #26. This is the Gatefold set, which was dope. So I managed to snag 3 copies of that. So big shout out to Alex Ross. He wasn't at the booth. This was one of the booths that I went to actually early when they were open and there was somebody there, and I kind of like begged them, please, come on. I know it's like, yo. And she was just like, all right, fine, as long as you get away from us. So that was dope. Big shout out to her. And it also came with this. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but it came with this card, whatever. It's like an old school X-Men card of that cover. Speaking of cards, I got this. You're not going to be able to see it because of the whole focusing issue, but Comic Journey gave this to me. It says, you're awesome. Thank you. Comic Journey approved. Big shout out to Comic Journey, man. So, you know, I've been around him a few times in my life, in real life. He is an absolute stand-up dude. Regardless of what you see on YouTube, he is amazing and one of my favorite people in the community. So big shout out to Comic Journey. And then these, I think, are all Nomos Comics stuff. So got these from Nomos Comics. Big shout out to Nomos Comics and Capture Collectibles again for having me at the booth, filming and stuff like that. So I picked up a bunch of these. Some of them are from Nomos. I think some of them are for Eastside Comics. So this is Stuff of Nightmares Red Murder #1. And that is signed by John Jang. So big shout out to John Jang. This is limited to 350 copies. And it glows in the dark. So if you shine like a light, like I guess like the blood kind of glows in the dark. So I have 2 copies of that one signed and not signed. This is Something is Killing the Children number, I don't know what number this is, but it's a foil. I do not know what number this is. This is also limited to 350, and this is a Zoo Orzu cover. This is absolutely dope. This is the foil, and then this is the regular version. So also limited to 350 copies. Now, Zoo Orzu, we worked together yesterday at the end of the day. So she was the last artist that I had the privilege of filming, and she is an absolute treat. Such a down-to-earth, nice, genuinely nice, happy, bubbly person. It was a pleasure meeting her. This right here, woo, super fuego. So this was done by Martin Zavala. This is an airbrush cover. This guy is nasty. This is World Tree. I forgot the issue, maybe number 5. And this is number 169 of 350. Yo, this dude is nasty. Had the privilege of seeing him airbrush live. He was doing a piece, a 101 piece that he was commissioned to do for Todd McFarlane. We just hit it off like, I don't know, it was like something like kindred spirits, and you'll be seeing stuff from us in the future, wink. So big shout out to Martin Zavala, another John Jang Stuff of Nightmares cover. I don't know why I didn't put those together. And then these were like the big hits of the con. So these were like these Berserker pen and ink, Andrew Curry variants. Everybody wanted these. Everybody wanted these. And one of them in particular was fire. So this is just a virgin gray foil. Boom, this one is limited to 300. This was like the regular version with the gold in the background and stuff like that. This was limited to 200. Oh, it's the Spot UV. I don't know what that means, but it's a Spot UV. And Andrew Curry was such a nice guy as well. That's the cover artist. Super, super dope. This is the foil with the gold. So we got the blank foil and then the gold foil. That's limited to 350. Now this is just the virgin. So this is the whiteout version, it's called, and this is 69 of 300. Now this one right here, this was bar none the most sought after book of the entire con, and I got caught up in the FOMO when they were giving out tickets for this. I was like, let me get one. So I managed to snag this. This is Berserker Pen and Ink issue number 1, gilded gold cover. So what that means is, I'm assuming you see the gold skull up at the top. All of those were hand painted by Andrew Curry with 24 karat gold paint, whatever that means. But that is fire. So I managed to snag one up. These things were going on the secondary market bananas. Definitely one of the hottest books, if not the hottest book of the con. Big shout out to Andrew Curry, gold skull up there in the corner. Super, super dope. That'll be available at the Whatnot sale on Wednesday. And then we're coming to a close, just a few more books. So I picked up these Musk versus Zuck. So I got 2 of these. Big shout out to Nerdy Girl Comics, who I purchased these off of. She was selling these. Danielle is such a cool person. She jumped on camera with me for a minute. I don't think we got the audio, but big shout out to Nerdy Girl. Danielle is such an awesome person. I highly respect her and her hustle and all the bullshit that she has to deal with in the community. So big shout out to her. Now moving on to, who did I get this from? Eastside Comics. Yes, Eastside Comics. This was another shop that I was just like, yo, I gotta start filming at 10. The doors are gonna open. Come on, man, hook me up. And they did. So I picked up this. So this is, I guess, Power Girl number 1, the foil, which was pretty cool. And then we're gonna leave it off with some John Jang goodness. So I picked up 2 of these Miles. Boom. I think I got them both signed by John. Yep, both signed by John. So 2 of these fantastic Miles. And I picked up 3 of these. So I absolutely love this cover. Fantastic. These are both signed. And then last but certainly not least, this one is signed and remarked. So big shout out to John Jang for the signature and the remark on this one. Fantastic dude. And I forgot to pick up the thing I had to get from him. Oh shit, I gotta call Izzy. I'm gonna stop filming this video, and Izzy, I'm gonna give you a buzz. So if you could pick up this thing from John Jang for me, and then I'll go meet you. Oh my God, I just remembered. Damn it. Anyway, but that's how the cookie crumbles. It was a tiring, overwhelming day, and clearly I forgot to pick something up. That's it for me. An incredible pile of comics, exclusives and stuff like that. Most of the stuff will be available for the Whatnot stream this Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, Wednesday, October 18th. I'll be going live on Whatnot. You'll be able to get a chance to get this stuff with 100% of the proceeds going to C3 minus obviously Whatnot fees and shipping costs. And then this weekend, the big C3 thing, starting out Legion of Comics stream in the morning on Friday, and then ending with the C3 finale auction in between. There's a bunch of shows in the mix Friday night, 9 p.m. I'll be joined by a bunch of artists and a bunch of other people, and we'll be selling stuff and auctioning stuff off with all the proceeds, 100% of the proceeds going to C3. You'll be able to pay with the American Cancer Society link. So there's no money coming to us. We don't touch any money. Everything goes directly to the American Cancer Society. And that's going to do it for me, ladies and gentlemen. As always, subscribe, like, hit that notification bell, share this video, tell your friends about me, consider joining the Link Squad. And as always, most importantly, spread love because it's the Brooklyn way. Peace.